a little bit about some of the legislation that I've been working on, and I'll maybe tell the story about how that happened. Anybody in here live on the Mesa? Our District 19 includes the Mesa, and this was even before I was elected 2 years ago. I was approached by someone who lives on the Mesa and wanted to tell me all about this great program that the Mesa is working on for fire safety. And they created very much like a neighborhood watch program for fire safety. And we had a copy and showed me all this great work and how fire department had actually done a test to see how quickly every single member of the community could get out. Also showed me all these things that they had done to help protect the entire community, fight for grants, to build barriers because they're in that OE system, provide all these mechanisms for people to work by the rules, etc., etc. And they said, we've done all of this, and yet our insurance premiums are going up. And we're actually seeing individuals get non-renewal notices from the homeowners insurance providers, and we don't know why or what we're supposed to do about it. How do we get insurance companies to care about all the work that we're doing? And I said, I'm a public educator, I know nothing about insurance, but I will take it on. And that was a year and a half ago. And now I know lots about California, I know lots about insurance. And through this process, we've actually had town halls meeting all across this part of our state, from Garden Valley all the way down to Magic Valley, meeting with people and really digging into this. And so I'm working with the Department of Insurance and other lawmakers. We have a series of bills that we will present to this session to address the issues of increased homeowners insurance rates and non-renewals. So in Idaho currently, we do not have anything in code for homeowners and for non-renewals. I think the provider is not going to tell you that they issue a non-renewal letter, give you a notification period, or you to try and find another provider. So that would be the first. The second is a bill that is actually in place in all of the states surrounding us, and that's a transparency bill. It says that providers have to do the metric by which they're judging you before they increase your rate. So you get -1 for not being close enough to fires, or not having access roads, or egress, etc. You have +2. They use those metrics, and in Idaho they're not required to share those with us. And so we have transparency. We have to provide that, as well as provide any homeowner who is having an increase or non-renewal with mitigation efforts. If you did this, we would not issue this non-renewal. And then also it would require the Department of Insurance to house all this information. So if you, a homeowner, were to get issued a non-renewal, you could go to the Department of Insurance, and that's what government is for, and see how many providers are in my area. Because another problem that we're seeing in Idaho, especially because there's a law of the state for homeowners, is that if you get a non-renewal or cancellation, these out-of-state, out-of-country surplus line companies will call you and say, I'm your only option. It's going to be $10,000 a month, $40,000, if you file a claim, and you're your only option. If you don't have a surplus line, is surplus line insurance back in the way back, which for things like your yacht, or the Department of Insurance director talks a lot about, like, people should, insured for legs or knees, because these are, we insure very specific things. They're not your family's largest asset, right? Your largest asset, and that's your home. That's not good enough for. But we're seeing that increasingly in Idaho because people don't have other options. Then there's a third bill that we may not see in this legislative session that offers mitigation grants to folks, communities, municipalities, who are really trying to do some of that work to create fire barriers to apartment homes, and to make sure that we can reduce our premiums. If you have not visited Freeman House, who is a reporter from out west, put all the data that the Department of Insurance collected into an amazing infographic that you can see on the radio, and you can actually pinpoint to your area. Crazy enough, the highest increase in premiums is 83705. That's just ordered by the airport. And so if you're wondering why the premiums went up there so much more in places like Garden Valley, we're actually seeing a huge number of non-renewals places that are in and around forested areas, is because of the metrics that these providers use. They think about things in terms of, if there were to be a fire, how does fire spread, how many homes will be affected, how many clusters will each of these insurance companies pocket in these different areas. So 83705 and in Canyon County have the densest compacted homes that they see as the greatest fire risk. The problem with all that is that we aren't being told that. We aren't being told what we can do, and we aren't even getting to see the actual metrics that they use to determine these fire risks. So that's what I'm working on over the interim. Those should start to come to fruition here anytime. And then in building, I'm proud to say that the first bill that we voted on in the House today was a resolution that I wrote and was co-sponsored by all the members of State Affairs Committee, and that was a resolution against political violence.
I want to get to yes.
So we are, like, as a community, doing everything we can to protect our neighbors and our loved ones. And I just want it to be clear that nothing is happening on a legislative level to combat ISIS presence in Idaho.
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Here's what I would say is there are no formal bills right now that probably would get through this body to control ICE. I mean, I don't think
Not
so.
even holding them accountable to the law?
We could try. I mean, we could try.
Trying would be great.
What can we do then to help push that?
Well, one thing you can do is, if you have evidence of a federal officer breaking a state law, you just call the local police. That's all you have to do. That's what I do.
Yeah, but does anything happen?
I mean, Boise Police is pretty good at enforcing the law.
So, as far as like protecting the people that are out there doing things, that's like my #1 concern. So, obviously, if you pay attention to what happened in Minneapolis most recently, I feel like that person was doing everything right to protect themselves and everyone around them, but they were still executed. And so there's people in this community that are out there every single day, in my opinion, risking their lives and their safety and their privacy and doing a lot where other people wouldn't stand up and do those things. And I feel like they don't necessarily have the law on their side. So it's more of just like a request, I guess, from my community that I represent, that we consider maybe if we can't pass laws to stop what ICE is doing, how can we pass laws to protect and make sure the law is very clear about like recording officers, getting badge numbers, what is assault and like what a protester's rights are. There's a lot of gray areas, I feel like, and if you have a weapon on you, is that considered something that is a threat? Is that something worth being executed over? Concealed carry laws.
Listen, that's all in the law right now.
Yeah.
That's all in the law right now. You can, and this legislature has defended the right to carry at demonstrations. That is in the law. And I think that's what's so heartbreaking about what we saw in Minnesota is this man was carrying a firearm, but he wasn't brandishing it. but he had the legal right to carry it. And he had permits and all that in Minnesota. There are some Second Amendment groups I have heard come out like, hey, this is a little troubling, telling people they can't carry a gun at a demonstration. Although we were concerned about some legislation that was happening here about domestic terrorism and allowing certain firearms at like Pride and other events because of what happened up north. So there are laws right now that protect people to open carry and be at a demonstration as well. You cannot brandish, right? But actually what he did was legal. And we have plenty of laws to protect, for the record, people who are peacefully protesting.
I will say, if you're looking for kind of actionable toolkits to making the law work in your favor, so you can use it in real time, there are organizations like PODER, ACLU that provide, user guides on things you are allowed and not allowed to do in situations where conflict and tensions are rising.
Cool.
So we'll just do 2 more questions, and Theo, as usual, buried the lead. I know a lot of you know who he is, but in case you don't, he actually was Trump's main immigration policy guy, Trump 45. So he's done all the things, and he's been around the block, and that's why we're glad to have him kind of here with us. But we'll just do 2 more questions and then wrap up. Then we can kind of mingle and whatever. Yes.
Yeah, so I've been here my whole life, and I'm not in alignment with a lot of people in this room. I come from the other side of the aisle. And I came here today because I knew you guys were going to be talking about all this legislation that is against people of color. And I look around and I see maybe 2 of us in this room, and one of them's a Democratic legislator over there. And I just want to express to you all that there is a whole community of people that feel targeted because of what's going on with ICE enforcement in terms of the way they are not following due process. And there's just video evidence out there. There's a lot of the younger generation of this. I know you guys say that you are nonpartisan. You're advocating for just removing the people that are either taking benefits or causing harm to whatever your business is or whatever. And I can respect that concern. My biggest concern is that we feel like, a lot of us feel like, and I've been here my whole life, so I'm a Boise native. I feel like that there's something changing in the air, and it feels like those of us here who have been here our whole lives and are of color now have to be a bit more afraid, because I might walk down the street and suddenly see an ICE agent, and we are cultivating a climate where that ICE agent may just randomly ask for my papers. I'm a legal citizen. I feel like there's pressure for me to say I'm a legal citizen, but what I worry about is what is going on in this room right now. I feel there's a lot of cultivated racism going on, and the only thing I want to know is the only thing I want to know is what reassurances are you giving people who are citizens who feel that there's a lot of pressure coming down from out of nowhere, it feels like, that maybe aren't involved in the state economy or levels like that, that just feel like they're seeing what's going on in the world and they're afraid, and we don't want an armed masked army. Like, I literally don't want to be walking down the street and be worried about being tackled and questioned just because of my skin color, because that seems to be going on. Do you understand my concern?
I'll say one thing and then Theo clearly
Yeah.
say something, but I didn't hear anyone up here mention color of skin, and nothing in these bills attacks race or skin pigmentation or anything like that, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so as Senator Lynn said, there is nothing here specific to any race or cultural group. We have illegal aliens from Eastern Europe. We have illegal aliens from South and Central America who probably would appear more white, more Caucasian than I am. And the last time I had a suntan was 10 years ago. I just want to make clear, though, that your perspective is not shared by the majority of people of color throughout this country, including in very liberal jurisdictions like New York. A poll dropped today from Siena University. For the state of New York, Black Americans in New York at a level of 38% support the ICE deporting illegal aliens. Latinos in New York at a level of 36% versus 33% opposed support the removal of illegal aliens.
Yeah, can you just answer my question directly to me rather than read from a piece of paper and read some statistics? That feels. Are you going to answer my question, or are you going to talk to your audience?
The last thing I'll say is due process is given to all illegal aliens. Those who have a final order of removal have gone through multiple people.
Can you give me the respect, at least looking in my eyes when you talk to me and answer my question?
And at that point, when an ICE agent goes to detain and then remove an illegal alien, they have had the full measure of the law. No one should be confused about that. They have been given.
Are you reassuring them or are you reassuring me? They don't need the reassurances. I'm the only person of color in this room to ask that question. How do I feel safer in my own community that I grew up in? When I have these legitimate fears, are you in
Potentially for you it's therapy, but for everyone else,
therapy?
you should understand how the law works.
We're just,
Senator.
yes, last question, the
Senator
gentleman.
Lenny, I'd like to offer you the opportunity to extend a warm welcome to a lady in the room named Lydia, who is a legal immigrant from Brazil. Lydia, if you wouldn't mind standing as a Spanish lady. I'm not sure what the young man has against her. There's probably some deep-seated racism that he needs to deal with.
Yeah, I think, and
I'm gonna say something.
yes.
I have accent. Sometimes my English is not clear. I never feel fear about ICE. If ICE stop me, I'm show my paper, it's not a problem. If you are here legally, you have to follow the laws. No one's above the law. I know that. To come here, I have to pay all the fees. I have to do all the paperwork. And some people come, broke the law and say, I have due process. What kind of due process? That's what I say to you. You afraid? Why? I'm not afraid. I'm a naturalized American citizen. I have accent. I show my paper. It's no problem. It's no big problem. You guys create a problem for nothing. Thank you.